This is me waking up in the morning, crashing at my mother-in-law's house, or my in-law's house right now. That's my air mattress right there, and two of the three kids sleeping here. There's one, the other one's right behind me. And if you walk down this area and point at that door, that's where my other son and my wife is, and my in-laws are over there. So after I clean up everything and ready to go, I say goodbye. Goodbye, son. And I say goodbye to my daughter. Make sure I turn off the light behind me. Let's get that light behind me. And there we go. And head out the door for my sunrise and morning walk and talk. Let's unlock that door right quick. Click, click. And open that and walk out the... Oh, wait. This is locked also. Super secure in this house. All right. Ooh, it's a little chilly out here. It's definitely not Arizona. Make sure you close that behind you. And don't slip on the wet steps. Wow, look at all the moisture on the van. It's definitely different than Arizona. Air is cool, moist. I like it out here. I like this kind of weather. Oh, here we go. Look at this guy was just cutting the grass right here. Making all kinds of noise. And he pulled off just in time for me to catch the sunrise. Good morning, wonderful people. How are you today? I'm doing great. So, it's another entry for my videos. I realized the other day when I was walking that I had the camera a lot off of my face. I'm gonna begin my conversation here with myself and with you, and then I'm going to go for a little bit of a walk. Look, I caught the sunrise right there. Look, it's happening. And then there was a guy mowing the lawn right here. Since I got here, I say all morning, but I don't know how long he's been here. But he's been mowing the lawn, and then as soon as it was time for me to start recording, he finished and he took off. So that was pretty cool. Health is wealth, and I'm gonna do a little bit of talking about that, right? And how that's benefited me in my life in the past, and how it is going to benefit me right now, and a little bit of a health crisis that I'm in currently, as well as what other things are happening in my life. Look, my life happens all the way around, not only financially, but physically and mentally and spiritually. Like, all of these things can pile up on you, right? And you still have to take control of yourself. You still have to take matters into your own hand with the grace and by the grace of God. Figure it out, right? And do what you have to do. God got your back 100%. I see signs every day. The beautiful rainbow I caught yesterday was amazing. So dope. I haven't seen rain like that in a while. And it was pouring out here in Vacaville. And then after, right outside of my in-laws' house, I stepped outside and seen the ginormous full rainbow, all the colors. And then there was a slight double rainbow. It was nice, man. It's super dope. But with that being said, you have to meet God halfway, right? Like, or more. Push even harder, right? Because you're already in debt. You already have a lot to be grateful for. You already have life. You already have whatever skills and talents and whatever purpose is instilled in you. That's already there, right? So you're already So be careful of begging, right? Excuse me. Right, when you're looking for help from God, or from anybody for that matter, right? Be careful on what you're doing first, right? Like, come on, man, you gotta put in the effort, right? You gotta push. These are your boundaries you have to get over, and it's not because you shouldn't ask people for things, or you shouldn't ask God for help, or no, it's because this is your life, and these are your challenges, and these things, these boundaries, and these hurdles are for you to learn how to get over, right? And that's where the treasure is. That's where the gold is is in the education, is in the fortitude, is in the strength built in pushing through these things, right? That's where the W lies. So you're gonna cheat yourself. You're gonna cheat yourself if you get it handed to you, and then you're gonna lose it again. And that's the way it works, right? Because you have not built or learned what you needed to learn or build on in order to achieve these things. If it was just given to you, right, you lose it. That's just the way it works. Like, a lot of people, look, you see it all the time when people win the lottery and then they win a lot of money and then it's just gone. They just blew it all and wasted it all. It's because they're not millionaires. They're not thousandaires. They're not even hundredaires. You know what I'm saying? Like, a millionaire is not a money amount. It's not how much dollars you have in your bank. Millionaire is a mindset. A millionaire mindset is what makes you become a millionaire. A thousandaire mind, 100,000-aire mindset is what gets you there. So it's not about like somebody handing you something and then you're there. Like, no, you're gonna lose it. That's not the way it works. So I'm at this point in my life right now, and I'm building. And this is my journey. This is how I'm figuring it out for me. And I'm building. And things like catching the sunrise in the morning and stuff like that, and having these conversations into my phone, looking at myself. I'm looking at myself right now. Look, this is me looking at me, talking to me right now, sharing with you. These things are getting me up. It's getting me up early. I'm up at 4 in the morning and I'm thinking, okay, let me go over here and catch the sunrise. Let me talk into the phone. Let me make another post for the YouTube, right? This is going to keep me consistent on being consistent. That's the trick, right? So just be consistent on being consistent and then find more things to be consistent in. So now I'm consistently getting up, not just waking up early, but getting up early. Getting up, getting dressed, putting on some stuff, getting outside the house. I'm up before everybody else is up. Everybody else is in the house. And look, right now I'm at my in-laws' house with my family, and my daughter's on one couch. I'm on an air mattress. My son is on this other portable bed thing. My wife and excuse me, little guy are in a whole nother room on air mattresses, right? Like, but that's not comfortable for me. That's not how I get down. So I'm up early. I get up before anybody, and I deflate my bed and I package it up and I put it away and I fold all my sheets and blankets and I put everything up. I go do my morning routine, shower, shave, brush my teeth, whatever it is that I gotta do, use the bathroom, and then I'm out. I get out before anybody is even awake. I'm out the way. I'm not in nobody's living room on the middle of the floor or anything. I'm out the way. I'm out the way already, figuring out what I got to get done for this day. And that's my mental health. This is my spiritual health, right? Finding God, remembering that this thing is going to happen every single morning, catching witness to it, preparing myself mentally. Right now I'm going to go for my walk. I'm going to walk with you guys right quick. As soon as this sun does its thing, I'm going to walk with you guys and talk some more, right? And I'm building my consistency back, right? I'm getting consistent at doing this, and then that's going to lead that consistency going to the gym, and then going to the gym consistently builds on eating right consistently, because you don't want to put in all this effort waking up early, going to the gym, working out hard, and then you're just blowing it all with a meal, right? So then that puts into the consistency of eating right. Then I'm feeling better consistently, right? So then now I'm doing something, I'm feeling better, my health is improving, and my attitude improves, my mental state improves, my energy improves, my vibration improves. I'm surrounded by more people that are on that same hype, so my surroundings improve, right? That is the physical realm of turning ideas into matter. Is turning a thought and a thought process into reality, right? That's That's not the magic part. That's the consistency part. That's the get off your ass and do something about your life part. And then life will happen to you in that fashion, right? But if you're just laying around the house and you're getting up late and you're missing half of the day, then you're going to wake up in that mode. You're going to wake up in that mood like, oh, here we go. Here's another day. I'm going to have nothing to do. No, man, don't keep burying yourself in that. Yeah, life is weird right now for me. Yeah, things are tough, so to speak. But so what? I'm tougher, right? I'm going to get up and I'm going to face it and I'm going to move forward regardless of what happens, right? Regardless of my financial state, right? Regardless of my physical state, which is what I'm going to talk about a little bit today. And health is wealth, right? So in the middle of our first audit with the first insurance company and the first pause we had, like we were on a roll for a little bit and then we got paused before we jumped into the next insurance thing and got accredited by the new insurance company, which now put us on a pause and jammed us up again. But during the middle of that, I was in Phoenix, Arizona, just me and my son. My family still lived here in Vacaville. I got sick. Something happened to me, right? And like, I'm going to be completely transparent and vulnerable because I want somebody that if they're watching this to understand that this is how you got to get down, right? Like, I was beginning to get all of my blood work done so that way I could get back in the gym and I could do all of that good stuff. So it's kind of awkward because I have California insurance, but I was in Arizona. So a lot of the medical things that I have to get taken care of was here in California and not in Arizona. I haven't completed that transition yet out there. So then I was out there, and when this happened, like things were getting a little bit down, I went to use the bathroom and I was urinating, and then air came out of my urethra. It's like, what the hell was that? It's never happened before in my life. Just like air after I urinated. And then of course I was concerned. I started doing some research and whatnot. Immediately the next morning I call the doctors and I'm trying to figure it out. And I can't see a doctor in Arizona. I have to go to California to see a doctor. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I call the doctor and I'm like, there was no pain, no irritation, no like funky discharge or anything, just pee and then a little air came out. So it was just an odd feeling, something I've never felt before. So then, long story short, I make it back to California and they're like, oh, it's probably just like a bladder infection, not a big deal. It's rare that men have them because of the way the urethra travels to the bladder. It's like a further distance, and for women it's a little bit easier, but it is. So they give me antibiotics and they're like, you'll be fine. And, you know, I gave urine samples and all of that. And then they're like, oh, you'll be fine. A couple days, you'll be good. Well, I wasn't. Like a couple days, it was still happening. And then it was time for me to fly back to Arizona, but I didn't. I checked myself into emergency to find out what was going on. So when I checked myself into emergency, all of a sudden, you know, they did blood work and they did a CT scan, CT scan. And I had to, like, first they scanned my whole body, and then scanned my like midsection. And then I had to drink like this dye, and then they scanned you again just to kind of see the results of what the dye would catch. So they do all of that, and I'm in the waiting room, and then all of a sudden it was like a rush, and doctors came in and they're like, oh, you can't drink anything, you can't eat anything, you're being admitted right away. And I'm like, what's going on? They was like, oh, you have to go to an emergency surgery. We're gonna have to do surgery on you right away. I was like, what's going on? What's happening? Oh, the doctor will be in to explain it to you. Like, what the hell is going on? So then I was in emergency. They had to transfer me to the actual hospital, which was like 15 minutes away in Fairfield. So they're prepping me for that. And meanwhile, I haven't seen anybody about anything yet. Like the doctor hasn't explained to me what was going on. So they prep me. I get in the ambulance. I go to the ambulance. They get me to the other hospital. And then finally a doctor comes in, and he's gastro whatever doctor. And he says that I have what is called a fistula. Now, this came about because of a condition called diverticulitis. Now, most people get diverticulitis. It's not like a uncommon thing or such a crazy thing. A lot of people get it. It's like a high percentage rate that you could get diverticulitis. And diverticulitis is when like your intestines swell in like little pockets. So you get like little pockets in your intestines. This inflammation could go away and come back and go away and come back. But what can happen is when you get a little pocket like that, food and stuff could get trapped in there, and then that could cause an infection in that, because the food doesn't get out and then doesn't pass through properly. So you could get a little infection in that pocket or what have you. Well, what happened with me was I had diverticulitis, so it formed these little pockets or bumps in my intestinal line. But it happened to happen where my bladder and where my intestines meet, like where they touch, because everything's all squished up inside of there. So this is my intestines, this is my bladder, and right in between the two is where the bump formed, where the pocket formed. And because of that, and because your organs are such similar material, right? It's such whatever the word you know what I'm trying to say, like your organs are kind of the same in there. The pocket pressed up against the bladder formed a connection. So like a little hole in my intestines ate through into my bladder, and then they merged. So there's a tiny little hole that connects my bladder to my intestines, or my intestines to my bladder, which is not a good thing, right? So they're like, oh, this is we have to cut you open. We have to separate the two. We're going to remove a section of your intestines and then reconnect it, and then you'll be fine. We're prepping you to do that. We're going to run some more tests. We're going to see what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then they were asking me questions like, have I ever passed fecal matter through my urine? And I'm like, no, not really. They tested my urine. They saw it was a little cloudy. So they're prepping me for emergency surgery, right? So now this is the next day already at the hospital. I've been in the hospital for all this time. And, you know, everybody's concerned. My wife, I'm concerned a little bit, right? Like, but the doctor assures me that it's not such a big deal. And this surgery happens like mostly with robots, I guess. Like they just make little incisions and then get in there and do whatever they got to do. Hold on, my gorgeous wife is texting me talking about, am I alive? Look at that beautiful sunrise. I killed the camera real quick by accident. I didn't mean to do that, but I'll splice it together. But look at that gorgeous sunrise. Let me catch it with my real eyes. Oh, it's gorgeous. I love to feel the warmth of the sun. It's kind of cool outside. And then as soon as the sun comes up, you could just like feel the warmth. That feels so amazing. I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna walk and talk now, and I'm gonna keep the camera on me. But oh, look what the sun does to my eyes too. Look, my eyes turn all green. It's pretty cool. When I'm in Puerto Rico, my eyes are super yellow, like green yellow, and then in the summer they usually lighten up like that, and they turn like that green color. Is cool. But anyway, so they're prepping me for surgery. You know, now I'm at the point where my family's at the hospital, and like we're on prayer mode and all of that crazy stuff. And then they're running more tests, right? So like I'm getting tests done, and they're prepping me for surgery. I haven't eaten. They don't let me eat no more. I can't even drink water at this point. And then finally in the evening of that day, the doctor tells me that the connection is very small, and he's not too concerned with the possibility of the connection breaking and then something bad happening. So what happens with diverticulitis or anything like that, what the concern is that if those pockets become really big or infected or break, then fecal matter gets into your system and you could pretty much die instantly, right? Like, that's just the fact of the matter. You could just pretty much die. I'm gonna on that note, I'm gonna pause real quick. I'll be right back. Hold on, I'm gonna get a couple pictures. And I'm back. So you can pretty much die pretty quickly. Like, it's a pretty instantaneous thing if that happens. So that was the concern. That was the rush for the emergency surgery preparation. But after they did more tests and x-rays and whatnot, they figured that they had some time. Now also, I've gained quite a bit of weight at that time, and they're talking about doing surgery, or at this time they're talking about doing surgery in my intestines. So the doctor was like, it's more complicated when you're a bigger guy. I was like, okay, I get it. So what he wants to do now is, he says, what I want to do now is we're going to try to find a different way to take care of this situation. So what I want you to do is, I'm making you an appointment for a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. So pretty much they're gonna stick a camera up my ass and down my penis, right? Fun. And they want to see if they can see the connection from the inside, where if they can, there's a possibility they can close it there and from the other side, right? And not remove a piece of my intestines that way. A couple of things is, it's unlikely. It's unlikely that can happen because it's not, the inside, your intestines are all like bunched up. It's not like a smooth cylinder where you could just see a little hole. So that hole could fall in some of the bunches. More than likely it is in one of the bunches. So like, you can't really just see it and then patch it. Hopefully they can, but they're gonna check. So, and then the same thing in the bladder. They want to look in the bladder and see if they can see where the connection is, and then possibly close it from inside the bladder. So then they make me appointments, and of course the appointments ain't right away, but they're trying to put a rush on things because of the severity of, if the connection breaks, that it could be devastating, right? I could die. So that's where I'm at. So I spent a few days in the hospital doing that. Then after that, I'm going to all of these appointments, getting things taken care of, figuring out if they can do it. So they can't, right? Like they get pictures of the inside of me from both sides, and the one through my urethra, I was awake for. Sounds pretty traumatic, and it was scary, but really they numb you up and they stick a tiny little camera down your urethra, down your pee hole, and then it goes all the way through into your bladder, and then you can see inside your bladder. And then like I was awake for that, so I had the monitor right next to me, and inside the bladder it looks crazy. It's like furry almost. You see all this like fur. It's like yellow in there, or yellowish orange, and you see all this like fur in there. It's crazy, like wet fur, like floating, all lining the wall. It looked bugged out. And then you could see a little tiny area where it was irritated, where it was like red or pinkish. It wasn't really red, but not bad, right? And besides that, everything looked really good. And I drink a lot of water, especially that I've been in Arizona. So like, my urine has been good. I haven't got any infections. There's no urinary tract infection, no bladder infection, none of that. So far I look like I'm in good shape, despite the fact of this thing that's going on. So the concern level goes down a little bit more. Now, I meet up with the doctor, and the doctor's like, okay, we want to prep you for surgery. you're gonna have to do this, but I want you to get down to 250 pounds or less. And that'll make everything a lot better, because once we get in there and we do this surgery, we're gonna remove a good amount. I don't know, maybe, I think he said like a foot even. I don't even know, remember how much he said, but they're gonna remove a good amount of my intestines, cut it, and then connect, reconnect. So they're gonna cut and then connect where they cut, and then there's like a band where that connects. But they want everything to be nice and clean and smooth and easy, because that connection has to merge correctly, right? They don't want that connection to break, because once again, that's not a good thing, right? You could pretty much die pretty much instantly, is from what I understand, is if something like that happens, you become what is called septic. And then if that happens, it's a wrap. Like, you cannot have your body compromised that way in the inside at all. That's what your organs are for, to keep all that stuff inside a system of things. So with that being said, now I'm on mission, right? So then he even lines me up with a gastric bypass surgeon to do a lap band or some other shit. But I'm not down for that shit. I'm like, bro, you don't know who I am. you don't know who I am, bro. Lose weight, I could do that. I'm gonna do that. You know, they even gave me a prescription for Wegovy, so that way that could help me to slim down or whatever. So then I'm all set now. Now I'm on a mission. I know what I gotta do. I'm not in any pain, no discomfort. It's literally gas. The hole is so tiny that sometimes gas from my intestines goes into my bladder, and then after I urinate, sometimes it pushes that out a little bit. So basically, I'm having dick farts. It's weird. It feels weird. It's just like it's weird. But anyway, it's not like gross or nothing, or nothing weird, no smell or nothing weird like that. It's just basically air or gas or whatever passing after I urinate. So physically I'm in the clear, but not in the clear. That was a straight up lie. Physically I'm okay. But what this was for me, what I understand it to be, was, bro, quit fucking around with your weight again. Like, how did you get back in this place? And now something physically is going on that you're gonna have to need surgery. Like, how did you do that? And then you're not at a weight that could get handled. Like, me being overweight now, the way I am, has nothing to do with what happened. Diverticulitis happens to anybody, any age, any size. It's the fact that they couldn't just handle it, and now I gotta prep by losing weight in order to get it handled, right? Like, that's where the health is wealth really kicks in. I'm poor in that aspect right now. So now I have to earn that part, right? Because I wasn't already prepared when I was at one time, where I was financially set at one time, where I was physically set at one time, where I was mentally set at one time. You could slip, right? You can let life kick you in the ass so much that you let go of the control, and then you find yourself in situations where now you're forced to step it up, right? You're being forced to step it up. So that's what's going on. So now I have to get like blood work done all the time. They gave me like this huge thing of antibiotics in case I start to get bladder infections and things like that, but nothing has happened, thank God, right? Nothing has happened since. So that's where I am physically.
Stay tuned for the conclusion and part 2.